Welcome to episode 3 of your RacerX preview for Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship for 2015. Jason Weigandt and Steve Matthes here at the Morgantown, West Virginia RacerX headquarters. We'll have David Pingree and Jason Thomas joining us in a bit. Today we're going to talk about the riders that straddle both worlds. Not Sammy Hagar's best of both worlds. Sorry, but these riders have been, at times, the elite of the elite, winning races. They can run with anyone, beat anyone. At other times, they're just a notch below that, and you're waiting for them to reach their potential. We're talking about Trey, Canard, and Davi Millsaps. Now, the last time we saw these guys on a bike, they were right up front and they were winning. But there's always going to be question marks, a lot of it because of the injury history these two have had.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we saw Trey Canard go on a heck of a run at the end of the Lucas Oil Motocross Series. And then we saw Davi Millsaps come back from injury. And I got to admit, I never thought Davi Millsaps would win the Monster Energy Cup. I would have had him way down there. But great job by him for winning the overall, coming back from an injury. He's been off for a year, basically. And this sport just doesn't stop. It just keeps evolving. And then, of course, Trey Canard, he won the first two motos of the Monster Energy Cup, and he was looking good to win the overall for sure, if not the $1 million.
Yeah, I think that meant that he had to win that moto. He probably took chances he didn't want to take. I'm sure it was in his head a little bit, but riding-wise, it was phenomenal.
Yeah, both riders really showed me something there, and there's no doubt. Trey Canard now switching from the Showa suspension to the KYB suspension. Now, that was quite a big deal end of the Nationals, and we saw his performance get elevated.
Yeah, and this is what it comes down to. It's all about the forks. So I have 3 different types of forks here. Yeah. He had 2. At his disposal. They were Showa Air Forks for a while, and then apparently they let him use the KYB, and he likes that. Now, oddly, Cole Seeley, his teammate, sticking with the Showas.
So Seeley took a fork,
yeah,
the old fork, and now he's using that.
And Canard has one of these, and also Eli Tomac running one of these. These are big KYB forks.
All right.
But what we like about it is there was a fork in the road, and he took it, as Yogi Berra would say, and after all the injuries Trey Canard has been through, you cannot stick a fork in him because he is not done. He is maybe faster than ever and a legitimate contender to win races and maybe even the title.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Trey, I think much like Ryan Dungey, I've forgotten a little bit about Trey and his chances for coming in. He's a past multi-time Supercross winner, so we know he's got that.
Yep.
We know he's comfortable on the Honda with the suspension switch. He's working with the great Tim Ferry.
I heard this from you several times.
I mean, Tim Ferry knows titles. He knows how to manage championships.
Yes.
He knows that wins aren't the only thing.
Yes.
You need to just manage championships.
Yeah, he did it once. That's true.
So I think the sky's the limit for Canard. Can he win? Absolutely. I think he can. I'm a believer in it's hard to win a first ever race and then the title in the same year. We've seen it done, don't get me wrong. But it's not all, it's pretty rare.
Yep.
Canard's got the wins. So can he win the title? Certainly. I do think so. And Millsaps, well, I would have not. I would have put him in for a rough year this year, coming back from injury. But Monster Energy Cup showed me something. Once you got it, you always got it.
That's what I say. Although what's funny is we pretty much never predict big things from Millsaps, and he really enjoys the fact that we never really give him credit. So,
Davi Millsaps should stay off Twitter, not watch these shows, not read the media things.
I think he did it between motos one time at a national. After the first moto, we actually read our tweets. I think this is really what it comes down to is everyone's worried about the injury factor with these two. So we actually have some stats to show how often they've raced. You would think, oh, both of these guys probably only race half the time. They're always out. They're always hurt. Actually, except for last year, Davi Millsaps has been incredibly consistent in Supercross, and you can see his career starts here. He went about 5 seasons without missing a single race at all. Now, Outdoor Nationals, a little bit different story, but that's for later in the year. Now, Canard, obviously, he's missed a ton of races. So I think as good as these guys are, speed-wise, team-wise, bike-wise, you still got to be a little bit worried about the injury factor. If they can overcome that, I think they have as good a chance as anyone.
Absolutely, and I know Davi loves his Kawasaki right now. I've talked to some people on the team, and he's really enjoying it, really doing well on that bike. So we've got 2 guys who are perfectly happy with their bikes. They've won in the past.
Yeah.
They've been there. Why can't they do it again?
All right. Well, let's see if the long layoff for Millsaps or the suspension changes for Canard, what kind of impact that could have. Let's send it to our man, Jason Thomas, who is once again being whipped like a government mule and being put to work at the office.
So we have 2 guys, Trey Canard and Davi Millsaps. 2 different situations. Davi's coming off a long layoff. He hasn't basically raced in a year and a half other than his Monster Energy Cup win. I see great things for Davi. I think he kind of proved that he still has it at the Monster Energy Cup. I think we're going to see right where he laid off in 2013. I'm not going to pick him for the championship, but I do see a lot of race wins for him. I think he'll be on the podium quite a bit. I think he's highly motivated. A lot of people have counted him out, kind of where Chad Reed was before. A lot of people just think he's too old now, too much layoff. I think he's going to come in fired up. Then we have Trey Canard, completely different situation. He's coming in with a ton of momentum. He won motos at the end of the last year. He almost won $1 million at the Monster Energy Cup. He's gone through this switch of suspension. He went from the Showa to the KYB stuff, which has been completely talked about at this point, but I still think it's a huge deal. Something has gone on, and there's really nothing else to point to other than that change, so I'm going to pick him to be our A1 winner. I just think he's in a great place right now. I think that everything is finally going his way after years and years of letdown and injury and disappointment. So look for Trey Canard to be at the front. He almost pulled it off in 2013. 2015 A1 is his year.
Now, something with Trey Canard. Is it Tim Ferry, Trey Canard, Tim Ferry's Trey Canard? Or is it, as JT would like to say, Fly Racing's Trey Canard?
Yeah, we could even throw in our buddy John Knowles from Scott Goggles. He would refer to him as Scott Goggles Trey Canard. You could also say Team Honda's Trey Canard.
That might work too.
Yeah, everyone likes, if Trey Canard wins even a single race this year or battles for the title or whatever, I feel like Canard is kind of taking that Kevin Windham type role now. He is becoming the everyone would like to see this guy win a race guy. He might not be everyone's #1 favorite rider, but everyone will be pumped if he did well.
Yeah, I don't know too many people who are not Trey Canard fans in some way. No doubt about it. And like I said, Tim Ferry knows titles, knows how to win.
Okay, once again, you already said that. Yeah. Now on the Millsaps side, one thing we have to give credit to, this is the team, the bike, the mechanic, everything, that has won the last 4 titles at Ryan Villapoto. So many people talk about Roxon and Barsha, for example, but again, they're on teams that haven't done this. Even in Canard's case, Team Honda always has this aura around them, but it has been forever since they have won this championship. So the team thing alone has to be a factor, I would think, for Millsaps.
Well, and again, I mean, I've been there on teams. I've been on teams that have won Supercross titles with Chad Reed. I've been on teams that absolutely blew chunks every week at the races. So I've been there, folks. I know, and I don't think you can say the team makes the rider or anything like that. But like you said, I don't think you can discount the Mike Williamson, Dana Wiggins, Dan Fahey, Theo, all the guys down there at Kawasaki. They know what they're doing. They've won lots of titles before. They have fun. They take things seriously. They know testing procedure. Rick Ash has been there forever. Great guy. I do think that's a factor. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'll give you an idea how complex this is. We keep talking about forks, for example, with Trey Canard. We'll break this down and show you how suspension works. It's kind of analysis you can only get on a show like this.
Absolutely.
This is what they're dealing with. The suspension goes down and then comes back up.
Oh.
And it's how quickly it goes down and up through the stroke that makes all the difference.
That's steel springs.
Yeah, this does have the coil springs. Nowadays, running the air forks. Hasn't gotten to the ATV world yet.
It's not quite. Trey Canard's bike is not quite like a Yamaha toy quad. Right. It's not far off.
But we wanted to give the fans at home, like in the NASCAR shows, they'll cut a car in half and show you how it works on the inside. We wanted to give you that type of analysis.
It's really close.
It's actually kind of fun to play with. So let's just send it to Ping and see what he thinks of Millsaps and Canard. And I'm going to build some jumps. Take it away, Ping.
So I think this group of guys is maybe going to be the most exciting. Trey Canard and Davi Millsaps, the 2 guys who've kind of been there but haven't really won a championship yet or really maybe hit their stride. I think both of these guys could both win Anaheim. I think they could both win this championship. And I think when the series heads east, they could both be leading in points. I mean, I think it's possible. All 3 of those things are possible for these 2 guys. And I think their potential's unlimited. We'll see what kind of off-season they've had, how they're agreeing with their bikes, all that stuff when the season kicks off. But when you see Davi Millsaps or Trey Canard, for that matter, when they're happy, when they're fit, when they're healthy, they're ridiculously fast. And these 2 a few years back battled for the win at the opener. I could see that happening again, and I just hope they stay healthy. I think Trey is really on a roll right now between the Monster Energy Cup, the end of the Nationals where he was winning. I think he's found a setup on his bike that he likes, and I think this is going to be the year that Trey Canard shines, my opinion.
Okay, those are Ping's thoughts. I got myself a track built here, and by the way, good news for you, Steve. Over-under bridges coming back at some of the races this year, so it would work like a bike would go under there, and then again to show you the suspension design. Here we go. See how well? Did kick a little bit, That's why you have to test in the off season. But you saw what the suspension did. Yeah. The goggles?
These help me, Weege, to see into the future.
Yes, you did use them last year.
Provide me with vision into the future.
Like last year, I believe you predicted Barsha would be very good.
Yes.
I think you also predicted Ken Roczen would be moving to Kawasaki.
Yes, yes.
So these things are crystal clear.
All things that came true. Now, I can see the future in these. It's murky, but it's coming into shape. Trey Canard, 2 race wins.
All right.
5th in the points. He will miss a couple rounds.
I am also a little bit worried about not the injury thing, but Trey, like we saw at Monster Energy Cup.
He will miss a couple of rounds.
Oh, you're going to say that. You're seeing that.
Yes,
You're
I'm seeing that.
seeing
I'm
this
seeing that.
right now.
Like Barsha challenging Villapoto, like Kenny going to Kawasaki.
Sounds like Trey's going to have an awesome year in that case.
Hold on. Millsaps. No race wins and an injury. I'm really sorry. I can't.
You are going to hear about this one. You're going to be hearing about this one.
Sorry, Davey.
Yeah. You know, the year that Millsaps led the points and finished 2nd in 2013, we didn't even think he'd get in the top 5 the next year.
I can't control what these things see. They've been proven right before, time and time again.
If you want to win,
time
you
and time
must wear
again.
X brands. We're just going to throw out a mention to our friends at Feld Motorsports who've been giving us the footage for this show. And go to supercrossonline.com for all the information if you want to go see these races in person. I recommend you do it without vision like that. And here's a little trailer to get you pumped up on Monster Energy Supercross for 2015. We'll see you on the next episode.
I'm excited. You know, there's always that little bit of kind of edgy, you know, butterflies, but it's a feeling you really look forward to, and you don't have it, you miss it.
For me, it's always the anthem. You know, as soon as you're hearing the anthem, it's about to get real.
It kind of reminds you this is what you enjoy doing, this is why you're here, and bring back the love and the passion for the sport.
It gets you fired up, almost kind of chills up your back.
The speeds are faster, the intensity's higher, and everybody's training hard and working hard physically and raising that bar.
The tension is really high right now. You know, who's going to be the next guy?
You know, a lot of guys are going to be, pushing and shoving for that position. There's blood in the water for sure. For me, this is not my first go-around. You know, let the craziness kind of happen, and something that you just can't really prepare yourself for other than experience and going through it.
Chariot's in the lead, and this stadium's going nuts! This championship is a long struggle. It's 17 rounds in 18 weeks, but you've got to survive it.
This is when you have to dig deep. This is when the man in you comes out and you have to go for it.
Get ready. Here comes a gate drop.